My dear brothers and sisters, let me take you back 1200 years ago to a dark cell in Baghdad. Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, Ahmad ibn Hanbal, the one who's considered one of the greatest scholars of Islam ever known. The man whose school of thought millions follow until today. A man, scholars called him Imam Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah, the Imam of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. To the extent some of the ulama said Allah have saved Islam after the Prophet ﷺ twice. With Abu Bakr in the day of Ridda, when tribes declared that they left Islam and they start fighting Muslims, and Abu Bakr stood up and stood his ground and he unified the Muslim again. And the second time Islam was saved when the Yawm al-Mihna, when the Inquisition or the trial of Ahl Sunnah, when the leader of the Muslim at that time, the Abbasi Caliph, changed the religion and claimed that the Quran is not Allah's words, it's one of His creations. And people followed that, were forced to believe in that, and he tried to change the doctrine of Muslims by force. And the one who stood against all this was Imam Ahmad rahimahullah ta'ala. Now he's about to face one of the worst days of his life. Tomorrow morning, by order of the Khalifa himself, he will be publicly flagged for refusing to say Al-Quran is created. That's what he called the Mihna, the Inquisition. By the way, it lasted about 20 years. And he stood his ground for 20 years, resisting to change the belief of Islam. Interrogation, imprisonment, house arrest, forbidden from teaching, cut off from the students and the people who needed him. And on that night, particularly, he was told that he will be whipped publicly. And brothers and sisters, Imam Ahmad rahimahullah was terrified. This wasn't a man of steel with no emotions. He was afraid of the pain. He was afraid that his garment would fall off and he would be exposed in front of people, or even worse, he will be stripped naked while he is flat. He was afraid he would break. In that moment, when the first lash hit his back, he was worried that he will be weakened and he might give in. He was making dua that night, oh Allah, conceal me, asturni, cover me, don't let me be exposed, give me strength, keep me firm. While he's sitting in that dungeon, alone in the dark, the greatest scholars of his age, shaking with fear, begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not to let him, apart tomorrow. Someone nudged him in that darkness. Are you Ahmad ibn Hanbal? Yes, I am. Then the voice said, I am Abu Haytham, a thief, a highway robbery, a drunkard. He said, I have been arrested more time than I can remember. And then, like a veteran coaching a rookie, Abu Haytham gave him practical advice. And he said, listen to me. I've been hearing you making dua, worry about the flying, the whipping tomorrow. Listen to me. The first lash is the worst. It burns, but after that your body adjusts. The pain lessens. And trust me, I know, I have been through this more time than you can count and imagine. They lash me, and it never stops me from going back to what I do. Then he said words that change history. I have taken 18,000 lashes for nothing. For the lies shaitan fed me. For the lies shaitan fed me. I took all this for the money that I used to steal. for the lifestyle that I have, and I never broke. I never gave up what I was doing. And look at me. I'm just in prison. I get to prison again and again and again. I'm who? I'm nobody. I'm just a thief. But you, Ya Ahmed, I heard of you. You, Ya Ahmed, known to people. You're standing for the truth. You're standing for Allah. If someone like me could hold firm for garbage, surely you can hold for something real. You're better than me, Ya Ahmed. You are on the right path. Don't let them break you. Don't let them break you. Now here's what happened the next morning. They brought Ahmed out. They tied his hand. The executioner himself later said, by Allah, I was striking him with lashes. قال لو ضربت ظهر فيل لقسمته. That I would have broken an elephant back if I was beating an elephant. The Khalifa was there himself, al-Mu'tasim. And he kept saying, اشدد عليه قطع الله يدك. اشدد عليه. He said to him, harder, more. Ahmed fainted not once or twice, multiple times that day. They would throw water on him. He would wake up and lashing would continue. But every time the whip comes down, Ahmed would say to himself, be patient in the path of Allah, Ya Ahmed. أنت تضرب في سبيل الله يا Ahmed. The words that he heard from Abu Haytham, playing on repeat in his mind like a lifeline. He held, he never broke, and he never surrendered. And for years after that, Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, as his son Abdullah tells us, my father would constantly make dua, oh Allah, forgive Abu Haytham. Oh Allah, have mercy on Abu Haytham. Oh Allah, guide Abu Haytham. And Abdullah asked him, father, and he asked him, father, who is this Abu Haytham that you always make dua for him? Imam Ahmad rahimahullah قال, he is a man whose face I never seen. قال ما رأيت وجهه من ظلمة السجن. I didn't even saw his face. I just heard his voice. I remember his touch. Brothers and sisters, he never saw his face. It was pitch black, but he never forgot his words. Abu Haytham wasn't a scholar. He wasn't an imam. He wasn't a counsel. He was in that cell for the wrong reasons. But at the right moment, he said the right thing. And those words carried one of the greatest men in history through a beating that would have broken an elephant. And he came out standing. Imam Ahmad himself said, Abu Haytham's words were the single greatest thing that kept me firm throughout the entire mihna. A thief, a dark cell, and a few words that held up a man the entire ummah depended on. So here's my question to you today. Who in your life said the right word at the right time and kept you going? I even have a better question for you. Have you been that person for someone else? And just to be clear, I'm not telling you to be a thief. When I say be Abu Haytham for someone, I'm telling you to be the person who shows up at the right moment with the right word. My brothers and sisters, we live in a world that measure people by their platform, followers, titles, credit lines, fame, power, positions, degrees. And when you don't have those things, it's easy to think, I'm nobody. What can I possibly do? What I want to say to you through this story, that you don't have to be famous to be impactful. You don't have to be a scholar to support the truth. You don't have to be perfect to be part of something great. Abu Haytham didn't have a degree, title, or any credentials. He had a criminal record. But one sentence is spoken in a dark prison, echo forever, 1,000 years. It's still echoing today, even in our own masjid here in Clear Lake. The Quran filled with unnamed heroes who changed the course of history. وقال رجل مؤمن من آل فرعون يكتم إيمانه أتقتلون رجلا أن يقول ربي الله. And a believing man from the family of Pharaoh stood up against injustice that happened to the children of Israel, who concealed his faith, never publicly declared that he's a faithful, he believed in Allah. He said to his own people, do you kill a man merely because he says, my Lord is Allah? We don't even know his name. But his courage, spoken inside Pharaoh's own court, is recited until the day of judgment. وَجَاءَ مِنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ رَجُلٌ يَسْعَى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون. 3 messengers were sent to a city. Yet Al-Quran documented in Surah Yunus for us. And there come from a farthest end of the city a man running. He said, "O my people, follow the messengers. Follow those who ask no reward of you. And they are rightly guided." Again, no name. He ran from the edge of town. Nobody invited him. Nobody asked him. He saw injustice and he moved. He wasn't in the board. He wasn't in the committee. He was just a man who cared enough to run. And he's the third one. A bird. A tiny bird, hudhud, flew over 2,000 kilometers, discovering an entire civilization worshipping the sun. Came back to report to Sulaiman, أحط بما لم تحط به وجئتك من سبأ بنبأ يقين. I have encompassed in knowledge that which you have not. And I have come to you from Saba with certain news. A bird saying to a prophet, a king, I know something you don't. That tiny little bird saying, well, he came and he told Sulaiman, the king, who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him a kingdom that's unmatched until the day of judgment. This little bird didn't say, you know what, I'm just a bird. What do I know? It didn't wait for permission. It saw something wrong and it acted. Let's ask ourselves, if a bird can bring the truth to a king, what's our excuse? There's 3 kinds of people in the world, in the community, in society. Those who make things happen, those who watch things happening, and those who say, what happened? Too many of us are spectators in our own ummah. We watch the news, we share posts, we say, Subhanallah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, and keep scrolling. We watch other people do the hard work, and we think that's enough. We scroll more than we serve. And yes, some of us get more emotional over Wi-Fi speed than over dhulm and injustice happening to our brothers and sisters. وَلَا حَوْلَ وَلَا قُوَّةَ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. We're watching instead of doing, commenting instead of contributing, complaining instead of finding solutions, consuming instead of producing. We went from players to spectators, from builders to just customers. I think it's time to flip that back. And you don't have to do everything. Abu Haytham did not lead an army. He spoke one sentence. The believing man in Pharaoh's court asked one question. And the man from edge of the city delivered one message, and the bird one report. You don't need to be the whole fire. Just be a match. One of the traps the shaitan sets for us. He whispers, you're a sinner. Who are you to speak up? Who are you to care about justice? Fix yourself first. You're just a young man. I'm a kid. I don't know any better. I'm just a college student. I'm just a doctor. I'm just, a small business owner. Whatever you are doing in life, I can't contribute much. I'm not educated. I'm not, in politics. I'm not. You can find many excuses for yourself. And we internalize that. We tell ourselves, I'm not an imam. I'm not a speaker. I'm not a knowledgeable enough. And we step back. We sit down. We go quiet. Sometimes it sounds logical, but believe me, it's poison. When Hassan al-Basri asked Mutarrif to give people advice, Mutarrif said, I'm afraid that I will say what I don't practice. Hassan said, may Allah have mercy on you. That's exactly what the shaitan wants. If everyone waited until they were perfect, no one would ever command good or forbid evil. Imam Malik said it perfectly, said it best. Who among us has nothing wrong with them? Love the truth even if you are struggling with falsehood. Love people of obedience even if you are deep in disobedience. Support the ones doing the work even if you can't do it yourself. Your imperfection is not disqualification. It's the human condition. Abu Haytham was a thief and a drunkard. And yet, from the depths of his own brokenness, he delivered a word that held up the backbone of the Sunni theology for generations. If he didn't disqualify himself, what would happen? If he didn't disqualify himself, neither should you. Everyone needs support, my brothers and sisters. Even the giants need support. Even Ahmad ibn Hanbal needed word in the dark. As they say, behind every great servant of Allah are people who lifted them. I will never forget. Last year, I traveled to so many communities. I deliver lectures to so many, maybe thousands of people. And I know one person last year. He came to me and said, Sheikh, I would like to sponsor some of your traveling. Whenever you go to a community, don't charge them for the ticket. Don't charge them for the hotel. I'll pay for it. Here, this is an amount of money you can put it for your travel expenses. I can't travel to give lectures. I'm not a sheikh, but I want to be part of every trip. Just make sure you don't use it for your vacations trips. Just a small gesture like that. And I want to give an example of real example to me, happened to me. I know one person said he shows so much support to one of the causes. And when I asked the person what's made him so supportive like that, he said, I will never forget, I visit your community in Clear Lake, Exeter, a few years back. And you guys honored me. You guys hosted me. You guys were very hospitable to me. You took me out for lunch. Do you know, that year in particular, I remember, there is something happened to me, never happened before. Somebody said, and he said, Sheikh, I want to put a budget of $2,000. And he said, I want you to be responsible for this $2,000 for hosting anyone who comes as a guest. Take them to a restaurant, feed them, give them this. Who will think about that? It's a small gesture. He said, I know you guys take people out for it, many times you guys pay for it from your own pocket, but I want to make that. That person still remember. That's a little gesture, taking him to eat. It paid back. Not every time it's paid back in the dunya, but paid back in the akhirah. Well, I'm just giving you a real life example happen here. And I can think of so many. But when I will say, before I end my first khutbah to you today, you need to think about that. That everybody, no matter how big he is, no matter how structured it is, then it's you need your help. Let me take this home. Your father goes to work every day, provides for the family, handles the pressure. Maybe he's successful in his business. MashaAllah, makes money and everything looks good. But does that mean that he doesn't need a kind word from you? Jazakallah khair. Doesn't mean that when you graduated and you make an income, you said, Baba, you know what, or Mom, you know what, I want to give you my first paycheck. Even if he's rich, it means a lot. Your masjid has a good team, alhamdulillah. But does that mean that they don't need your help, your time, your ideas? You pray here and you just walk by them. That word means a lot. You pay your employee well. But does that mean you don't need to encourage them? A word of appreciation? Someone who noticed their effort? Everyone looks strong until you find out what they are carrying. No one is so great that they don't need support. And no one is so small that they have nothing to give. Not everyone will be a scholar. Not everyone will be an activist. Not everyone will run for an office. Not everyone will be a leader. But you can support them with your time, with your dua, with your money, with your ideas, with your presence. You may not lead the ummah, but you can lift someone in it. The Prophet ﷺ said, لا تحقرن من المعروف شيئا. Don't ever belittle any act of goodness, as reported Imam Muslim rahimahullah. That's my message for you today. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive our sins. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه. الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وبعد. Brothers and sisters, everything we said in the first khutbah leads here to this practical question. What will you actually do next? This week, not next Ramadan, not next year, not next week, this week. You speak one word of truth when it is easier to stay quiet. Support someone doing good work with your money, with your time, with your expertise, or just your dua. Stand up for someone being wronged, even if it costs you something. Get involved in your community. Show up to a city council meeting. Vote. And I can't emphasize enough on the importance of showing up to vote. We have brothers from our own community, but people who we know for years, running for office from our community or outside the community. Go and investigate. Go and support. Run for a school board. I'm proud of people from my community running for positions. Doesn't matter you win or not, but you know what? You did something. Abu Haytham spoke up in a dungeon. You have the right to speak up in a ballot box, in a courtroom, in a town hall. Use it. Reach out to someone struggling and say, I see you. You're not alone. Remember, every one of you is a shepherd. And every one of you will be asked about their flock. كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. You may never see the fruit of your words. Ahmad ibn Hanbal never saw Abu Haytham's face. But he carried his word to the flying post and beyond. Your one act of courage, your one moment of support might be that thing that holds someone together on the worst night of their lives. So if you can't be Ahmad ibn Hanbal, if you're not Ahmad ibn Hanbal, and most of us can't, then be Abu Haytham. Be the unnamed voice in the dark that keeps someone standing. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم انصر المستضعفين في كل مكان. اللهم فرج عن إخواننا المظلومين. Oh Allah, give victory to those who are unfairly treated, unjustly treated, especially our brothers and sisters who are going through suffering in Palestine and everywhere, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, bring an ease and relief to the innocent men and women in the places of war, especially what we see today in Lebanon and Iran and many other places. Allahumma inna nas'aluka an tahmiya ibadaka as-salihin. Oh Allah, we ask you to protect the muwahhideen, the mu'mineen, the Muslimin, and bring peace to the whole world. Oh Allah, we ask you to give relief to those who are unfairly and unjustly treated. اللهم آمين اللهم آمين. اللهم كن لهم ولا تكن عليهم. اللهم كن لهم ولا تكن عليهم. اللهم اغفر لنا ولوالدينا ولجميع المسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم اغفر لأبي الهيثم ولكل من قال كلمة الحق في وجه ظالم. Oh Allah, we ask you to forgive our sins, our parents, our family, our spouses, and make us, all of us, righteous. Oh Allah, keep us on the straight path until we meet you. Oh Allah, forgive Abu Haytham and forgive and support and have mercy on him and everyone who stand up for the truth. Oh Allah, give us in this dunya hasana and the akhirah hasana and protect us from adhab al-nar. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen wa qumu lis-salati yarhamni yarhamkum.